All right, superior communication skills, lesson 1. I'm going to be doing a series of communication skills because people suck at communication when under stress. Right? You are like everyone else. You're probably a decent communicator out in the world, but if we pressure test you, stress test you in a high stakes relationship, your communication chops go way down, and your ability to communicate your needs and wants and desires kind of is very compromised, and your ability to listen is extremely compromised. And there's a few reasons for this. Under stress, when you're in a normal conversation, okay, and you're in what Stephen Porges calls your social engagement system. You feel safe enough and relaxed enough in your being to communicate with someone you care about. And it's like, hey, how are we doing? Great, high five, everything's going well, we're having a good time. My face suggests safety to the other person and conveys care and interest. My smile, hey, we're having a good time here. My tone of voice, my whole vibe is communicating that we're connected or we are okay, right? But the moment that shifts because of a trigger, and in a marriage, this can look like a facial expression, a tone of voice that's a little intense. Okay, it can look like silence, an unreturned text message, just an argument over the dishes or finances or sex in a marriage can turn into a massive battle or a scary confrontation. And we lose the social engagement system because all those resources and the nervous system is shifting and it's saying, there's a threat. And we move from the front part of our brain, we move more back into our limbic system, okay, and our hindbrain. So I call it in my book, moving from the front seat to the back seat. And when you're in the back seat, you're like a backseat driver. You can't see very well, you can't navigate very well. And some of us get so triggered, we're in the trunk of the car. And you can't get shit done with another person when you're in the back part of your brain. You've seen this in yourself, right? You kind of go offline, as they say. So, good communicators, superior communicators understand this. And they're like, oh, I am going to say and do stupid shit when I'm in the back part of my brain. So I'm going to manage and control myself, control my temper, control my words. I don't need to anxiously scream or shout or raise my voice because I understand it's not going to go anywhere and I'm not going to be received well. So I'm going to take some breaths and I'm going to learn to get regulated again so that I can communicate in a coherent way that the other person can understand because I want to feel understood. Okay, so you want to learn how to communicate under stress. That is what this communication series is about. And communicating at work, communicating with the neighbors, communicating with your family members during the holidays, or people with different belief systems and values than you, whether it's politics or vaccines or pronouns or whatever the fight is about, it kind of doesn't matter. It's all in how are you going to show up? Are you going to show up as a self-righteous asshole who thinks you're right and they're wrong? As you'll see in this communication series, that shit is going to get you nowhere fast. All right. I was just working with someone recently who wanted to keep doing it their way, communicating, and I was watching what a mess they were making, right? And it's really interesting when people think, no, I just need to be heard. I'm just going to keep talking. Meanwhile, I'm kind of screaming, and my partner's totally frozen or not listening anymore and shutting down, but I'm going to keep going. Okay, that's the sign of a poor communicator, right? And look, we all, given our history, whatever traumas and shit we've been through relationally, it's going to impact our ability to communicate under stress. It just is. So we want to get much, much better at managing our emotional experience, managing and working with and regulating our nervous system. And also then we want to learn just practical tools of how do I How do I listen in such a way that the other person feels understood? A tool that we'll cover that I call LUFU, L-U-F-U. Listen until the other person feels understood, L-U-F-U. Then there's a communication tool called SURE, all right, which we'll also cover, and that's a speaking tool, which we'll cover in future videos. Because when I interview people, and I've talked to thousands of people at this point in the last 30 years about this, all of us want to feel understood. Every single one of us want to feel understood and accepted for who we are. But very few of us communicate in a way that has the other person understand us. And we, under stress, do a pretty shitty job of behaving in a way and listening in a way that has others feel understood. So we've got to step up our game, okay? So this is kind of like, treat this as like a mini course, if you will, where you're going to learn how to communicate better, okay? All right, look for lesson 2 here on YouTube, and I think you'll enjoy this short series, okay? Stay tuned for the next video. Make sure you're subscribed so you get pop-ups and automatic notifications that, hey, Jason's posted his next video, the next class is ready. And I would encourage you to forward this to your boss or coworkers or friends, family members, partner, ex-partner, just saying, hey, I think we could communicate better. Are you willing to just watch this series to get a few tips? Now, remember, I teach an entire course on this. It lasts 9 months. It's thousands of dollars. Like, it's a big investment of time, money, and energy. So if you really want to do this, you probably do something like that because it changes permanently. But I'm going to give you kind of the brass tacks here, just nuts and bolts of basic communication that I think is going to be superior in all of your interactions with other people. Yeah, this will be an amazing warm-up. And I guarantee you that if you try some of what I'm asking you to do, you will see a shift. Something will change. If you want to supplement to some of this stuff, then certainly you can get my book, Getting to Zero, How to Work Through Conflict in Your High-Stakes Relationships. It's another great guide. But if you're not like a 300-page book reader or Audible listener, it's on Audible also, then maybe these short videos will serve you. I'm really trying to help you out here, okay? All right, we'll see you in the next video. Thanks again for subscribing and being a listener of the podcast.